Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to DAZ Reacts, and today I have a Mickyy Flanagan reaction video for you. And in this one, he talks about watching Thomas the Tank Engine, and I haven't really watched that much of Mickyy Flanagan, to be honest. I get a lot of requests for him, and a lot of people have said to me that like he can be hilarious at times, and like for some of the stuff that he comes out with, and I don't know why. I think I've done a couple when I first started the channel that got blocked. And usually if two or three get blocked, then it kind of follows trend that way. So I think that's why I might have been put off. But I'm gonna try again. I've got a few requests, and what this one, someone said to me that this one is absolutely hilarious. So this is going based on a request. So you better hope it is. But yeah, from what I've seen of him in the past, he can be very, very funny, and I should do more of him. But yeah, I haven't. If you have any requests for Mickyy Flanagan, then leave them in the comments down below, and I will get round to doing more of him. But let's get into this one. I am looking forward to it.
Playing days are over anyway. I sorted my life out in the late 80s. Met a very nice girl, proper middle class. She's been skiing and everything. And and we were about 4 years ago. We were together 6 years. We were making love, right? Making love. She said, "I want a baby. I want a baby." I said, "Well, if you come off the pill, I'll start leaving it in, right?" So, started leaving it in. Child came along, was created. My wife, quite a middle class woman, she said, after a few months, she said, "I'm losing my identity," she said, "losing my identity." I said, "Have you finished your cleaning?" You can't sit there, you've got a cleaner. Everyone's got a cleaner now. Poor people have got cleaners. So, she went back to work, leaving me to bring the child up. So I'm pushing him along the street in his £500 pram, which I resented initially. Then I got involved in a race in Summerfields. Turns on a tanner, turns on a tanner.
That usually is the case though, especially like with child things. When my daughter was born, it was the case that like my wife wanted to get all these different things, like she wanted these expensive prams and buggies and things like that. And I was like, no, we don't need it. And there was one argument with something, it was a Doona buggy. And if you've had a Doona buggy before, honestly, like for the time, it was the best buy possible. My daughter's 7 years old, and if they made a Doona buggy for her size now, I'd probably have one. But with a Doona buggy, it's like a tiny little stroller, and at the click of a button, it goes down into a car seat that you connect straight into the attachment in the car. You take it out of the car, you push another button, it goes back down into a stroller. Honestly, it was so expensive, but at the time, the best buy ever. And it was like when she told me how expensive it was, I was like, no, we don't need it. I'll carry her. Like, I'll just carry her from a buggy into a normal bloody car seat. You don't need to spend that much. And then when we got it, I was sitting there playing around with it for ages. I was like, yeah, it was like, and I was gutted when she outgrew it.
Some idiot in a £200 buggy tried to cut me up. I said, "Come on, mate, there's a monkey's worth of Premet coming through here." Shouldn't you be in Iceland's with that thing? I'm not a snob. We're not a snob, but we did buy an overpriced house to store the baby in. You know what I mean? In a nice area. Nice area. And my wife went back to work, so she said, it's the thing about having children, is it is a bit tedious because you get up early with them. You get up about 6:30. By about 7:30, you're running out of ideas, right? So the government say, not too much telly, not too much telly. They don't know what they're talking about. He loves a bit of telly. Never once has this little boy turned to me and gone, "There's nothing on, Dad." So I put him by the telly, right? He's watching Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm reading about the budget deficit, which is very high, as we know. And you should be more worried about it. He's watching Thomas, I'm reading the paper. He's watching Thomas, I'm reading the paper. Suddenly, I'm watching Thomas. 2 years later, I'm a massive fan of Thomas. I've got to know the trains again, haven't I? Their little personalities, you know. You think, oh, Toby's turned up. This will be a blinder, this will.
I tell you what though, that's the thing, that with some of the kids' programs, when my daughter was younger, that she got into Masher and the Bear, and at first I thought, I'm not sitting there watching this crap with you. And then one day she wasn't feeling well, so I thought, do you know what, I'll sit and watch it with you. She just wanted cuddles and she wanted to sit there. And by the time I got up from watching this program, she was better. She was up and playing and things like that. And she wanted the TV back. And I was like, no, I'm watching this. And I think I sat there and binge watched Masher and the Bear. But she watches so many good programs, and it gets better. Like as they get older, like some of the programs. What does she watch now? She watches she's watching Young Sheldon on Netflix, but she watches other things like That Girl Lele. And she goes through these phase where she watches some of this crap on YouTube that, like, I know the names of the shows and that, but I'm not going to say them out of respect. But some of the crap that she watches on YouTube. But yeah, some of the TV programs that she watches are really good. But the younger ones that she used to watch were brilliant, like the cartoon ones.
Because where he's like, he's not a proper diesel or a steamy, and he's square, he plays up a bit, you know? So you're guaranteed a good episode with Toby. Now, the worst thing about having children, you're thoroughly enjoying an episode of Thomas. The little boy looks up at me and thinks, he's enjoying himself a bit. I'm not having that. I think I'll go off and top myself, all right? So he goes and gets in the oven. Keep me on my toes, and you have to go, hot, hot, hot! Hot, hot, hot! And you miss the end of Thomas. It ruins the rest of your day. Ruins it. It gnaws away at you. You think, how did that end? I was like, and it's not the sort of show you can just pop down the pub that night and start asking about, you know what I mean? Like saying to people, I don't suppose you saw Thomas this morning, did you? They brought the orchestra over, right, to play out the Fate, the So Dar Fate. They've only sent Percy to pick them up, haven't they? I don't know what the Fat Controller's thinking about sometimes. I really don't. We know it's a job for Gordon, don't we? Possibly Henry at a push. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been absolutely...
Do you know what the funny thing is? If you looked at, and it happened a couple of times as well, watch this woman in the crowd. So this is your ideal couple, because you've got it here. Because I was a stay-at-home dad until like a couple of months ago. I've been a stay-at-home dad with my daughter since she was probably just turned 1. So the woman in the middle here is laughing her head off because she's a stay-at-home mum. So she's probably sat and had to sit and like enjoy Thomas the Tank Engine and things like that. And you got the partner next to her who's like, he doesn't pretend laugh because he has no idea what this guy's going on about. But yeah, I've seen that quite a few times in the crowd. It's more relatable. But yeah, so like from what he's just spoke about, I'm the same. If I was sitting there watching I can't stand it with my daughter now, because we'll be sitting there watching something and it could be something on Netflix. Like I said, she's into Young Sheldon. The other day I was sitting there watching an episode with her. And it was the episode where they ended up with a really bad weather. So they had like the hurricane coming through, the tornado coming through. And I was getting really, really into the episode. And all of a sudden it's gone off. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, no, I don't like this part. I was like, what do you mean you don't like this part? She's like, no, I don't like this part. She put a completely different program on. It pissed me off. I ended up going into the kitchen and putting Netflix back on and watching the rest of the episode. But yeah, she's like, no, I don't like that part. And she just put a completely different program on the car. But yeah, it can be quite funny. If you're not a stay-at-home parent, you won't relate to it. Because that's the thing, that like, you get the parents that will go to work. And it's not to say they don't spend time with their kids, but like with me, like I go to work now, I come home, I don't sit and watch TV with her. Like I'll sit and do her own work, or I'll sit and play with her and things like that. And then she goes to bed. But like, and that's the thing with most parents, you don't really have that time during the day where it's the TV time and everything. But yeah, it's crazy at times that how you get into, like, I used to love waking up. My daughter used to wake up at the crack of dawn, and it was the same thing every morning. It's like, right, cup of tea, you can have your breakfast, and we'll put Milkshake on, and we'll have a look and see what's coming on Milkshake. And you sit there and you get all these ideas, like when you're older and you draw pictures and that, we're going to send your pictures into Milkshake and they'll be on the TV. And yeah, it never happened. It was just, but But yeah, them days are gone now. Now she's just a little cur. But guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed this. I really did. I like Mickyy Flanagan. I'm hoping this one doesn't get blocked, and I'm hoping that I can do more of him. So if there is any other Mickyy Flanagan you want me to watch, let me know in the comments down below, and I will get round to doing it. Until then, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help the channel. Take it easy. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Be kind. See you in the next one.